The divine feminine is an energy that has existed since the beginning of time. It is literally the creating energy. It's the force of creation, intuition, sensuality, and wisdom, woven into the fabric of the universe itself. But what does it really mean to embody divine feminine energy? And how can we work with it in our magical practice? Today, we're diving into the mysteries of the divine feminine in witchcraft, what it is, how to connect with it, and ways to incorporate it into your spiritual path. Before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Before I named my brand Divine Feminine Witchery, I honestly didn't know what that meant or what it was going to entail. I honestly didn't think that my social media presence was going to blow up the way that it did. I just had a little blog and I had a lot of thoughts and opinions that I wanted to share, and I wanted to see if I can find a community of like-minded people. I also knew I just wanted to tap into my divine feminine energy more because I was very much in my wounded feminine and at the same time struggling with a toxic relationship that was forcing me into my toxic masculine energy. And I can talk about the differences between the masculine and the feminine in another video if you'd like. But today we're just diving into understanding what the divine feminine is and how to incorporate it into your practice. But yeah, as I kept growing my brand and started figuring out more about what the community needed, I realized how many of us have been conditioned by a patriarchal society to live in our masculine or even our wounded feminine and not even know it. The divine feminine has been suppressed by the patriarchy because they know that is the key for us to step into our power. If we're only living in our masculine, or if we are only living in the wounded side of both those energies, then we aren't living in our fullest potential and we're not able to manifest the life that we want to live. And that's why this message of embracing the divine feminine is so big for me. So what is divine feminine energy? Divine feminine energy is often described as the counterpart to divine masculine energy. But it's important to remember that we all contain both these energies regardless of gender or how we identify. I have seen comments on my social media every now and then seeming like people don't like the terms feminine and masculine when I am describing these energies. But the thing is that we're talking about the divine here. The divine is much more complex than the human concepts of the definition of feminine and masculine. And if you don't like those terms, you could use the Tao? Why can't I say it? And if you don't like those terms, another way you can refer to it is yin and yang. That's the understanding of what yin and yang is, by the way. They are two counterparts that work together in order to create one. And with that said, I would like to also point out that there is also a lot of misunderstanding out there in social media specifically regarding what divine feminine and divine masculine is. You are not one of those. You are not living in your divine feminine so that you can find your divine masculine counterpart in someone else. No, your divine masculine is within you. And when you embody both of those, you are one whole that is now complete and working to its fullest potential, if that makes sense. The divine feminine represents receptivity, intuition, emotions, nurturing, and the cycles of life. It's the literal force of creation, whether that's physical creation like giving birth, or creative energy that manifests ideas, art, and spiritual growth. By the way, if you see me looking down at any point, I'm looking at my notes. I always create notes for these videos so I can stay focused and not ramble on. In many spiritual traditions, the divine feminine is represented by goddesses. My personal favorite, and where I first understood the divine feminine and masculine, is in Hinduism. Shakti is the divine feminine and Shiva is the divine masculine. And they actually have this really beautiful creation story of the creation of life that involves both Shakti and Shiva. And I think it's really beautiful that they continue to incorporate the goddess in their religion. There's so many religions out here that have either completely suppressed and hid away all of the goddess energy, and that is so that they can create control over society. And I am getting on a tangent again. I could get really into the spiritual and how religions have been affected by politics, but we're not going to go there today. There are also so many other goddesses that embody the divine feminine, and that's also why I am really big on talking about goddess work and goddess energy. Lilith and Venus are my two goddesses. Isis is another good goddess. Hecate is another good goddess, but really any goddess that you work with will help you embody your divine feminine energy. They all just represent specific different archetypes of the divine feminine, I would say. The divine feminine is the wisdom of the crone, the passion of the lover, the creativity of the mother, the fresh spontaneity and curiosity of the maiden, and the power of the warrior. She is both soft and fierce, nurturing and destructive, a balance of light and shadow. So how does the divine feminine energy show up in witchcraft? In my opinion, witchcraft in itself is divine feminine energy. So much of it includes you having to tap into the energy of Mother Nature or tap into your own intuition. And those two things alone are the divine feminine. The divine feminine energy is often associated with the moon and lunar magic. The moon has long been linked with the feminine, reflecting the cycles of life, menstruation, and inner wisdom. You can simply start working with the phases of the moon. I do have a few blog posts on working with the moon and understanding the phases, as well as understanding different ways to use moon water and what type of spells work best with each phase of the moon. You can simply write down in your calendar what the phases of the moon are if your calendar doesn't already include them, and maybe set intentions for what you want to work with for each phase. You can start charging moon water. That's the most easiest thing to do. You can also charge other items, protection wards, and spells under a full moon. And keep in mind when you are charging with the full moon that it is divine feminine energy that you are using in order to enhance whatever it is you're working with. Water and emotion-based magic is also associated with the divine feminine. Water carries the energy of intuition, healing, and transformation. You can create ritualistic baths or use water for scrying, or you can also connect to it by going to bodies of water such as a river or the ocean. The divine feminine is also associated with shadow work and inner healing. It's not just about love and light. It's about deep healing and transformation. Working with goddesses like Lilith, Hecate, or Persephone can help us embrace our shadows and empower ourselves. The divine feminine is also associated with sensuality and pleasure. The divine feminine is sensual, creative, and embodied. You can dedicate a dance to a goddess as an offering and embody the divine feminine by doing so. Sex magic in and of itself is divine feminine energy. It is the energy source of creation itself. Self-love rituals are also a great way to embody this energy. And even simple acts like adorning yourself with beautiful fabrics or perfumes can be magical acts of devotion. And that right there is incorporating it into glamour magic as well. Engage in rituals of self-love and embodiment. I personally like to do this every Friday. Friday is Venus Day, the day of the goddess, the day of the divine feminine. So it is a perfect day to really tap into that energy. If you can't do it on Friday nights, that's totally fine. Mondays are associated with the moon, so that is also another great day. But you could also just do it any day of the week that feels right to you. You could also even just do it once a month, as often as you can, honestly. Create a ritual, whatever that may mean to you. that incorporates self-love and embodiment energy. So maybe run a bath or a shower, light some candles for yourself, set up some crystals, do a little dance or yoga routine, wear things that make you feel beautiful and honor your body. And building a ritual like that is a very simple and easy way to start incorporating divine feminine energy. The divine feminine is also associated with creation and manifestation spells. Because it is literally the energy of creation, it is very powerful in order to manifest. And you can do this during a new moon or whenever it feels right to do so. I usually use the new moon to do my manifestation rituals. Whether you're birthing an idea, a new version of yourself, or a physical project, calling on this energy can amplify your magic. Work with goddess archetypes. Research and connect with goddesses that resonate with you. I personally work with Mother Lilith for a lot of shadow work, wound healing, and self-empowerment, as well as defying the patriarchy. That has literally become my mission work with her. And to be honest, I did not know I was going to get that deep into that specific topic with her. And with Venus, it's more about tapping into that creation energy and glamour magic and manifesting abundance and luxury into my life. There are so many goddesses out there. If any of them pique your interest, just start doing a bit of research into them and see what their energy is all about and see if that's something that would help you in your life and go from there. Embrace your cycles. Whether you're simply tracking the moon phases or honoring your own cycle, and that's either your menstrual cycle or your energetic cycle. If you do not menstruate, you can still tap into your energetic cycle, see when you have more energy and when you have less energy, and honor those moments. Embrace it. Be okay with having rest days. If you do menstruate and you're looking to tap into the rhythms of your menstrual cycle more, but you don't know how, I strongly recommend the app Stardust. This isn't sponsored, by the way. I just absolutely love this app. Trust me, once you download it, you will see why it is the best menstruating app, especially for witchy folk. If you don't menstruate, you can simply track the phases of the moon and align your energy with those phases. And that in itself is embodying divine feminine energy. And once you start cycle syncing in either of these ways, notice how your body and emotions shift energetically. Practice intuitive magic. And I know tapping into your intuition can be a little challenging for a lot of people. It used to be for me, but the more you try and practice it, the stronger your intuition will get. Your intuition is literally the key to your divine feminine. The patriarchy and the suppressive authoritarian groups around us fear our intuition because they know how powerful it is for us to tap into our intuition. And if you want ways to strengthen your intuition, I did create a blog post specifically on that. I could also create a video for you if you like, just let me know in the comments. Use feminine symbolism in your spell work. Roses, seashells, mirrors, cups, water, silver, snakes, the moon. These are all common symbols of the divine feminine that you can incorporate into your spell work, rituals, and your altar. Divine feminine energy is already within you, waiting to be embraced, honored, and expressed. By working with this energy in your craft, you not only deepen your magic, but also reconnect with an ancient, sacred part of yourself. If you found this all helpful, I would like to suggest, self-plugging here, my most recent book, Divine Feminine Witchery, Rituals and Magic to Embody Your True Self. This book goes more in depth in the topics that I brought up today. There's also spells, rituals, and exercises for you to understand your own divine feminine energy and learn what parts of you need more work, what wounded parts may need help, or what you need to tap into within you. I also talk about balancing it with masculine energy, understanding the difference between the light feminine and the dark feminine, looking into your birth chart and seeing where the divine feminine shows up there, strengthening your intuition, your self-confidence, self-love, of incorporating glamour magic and working with goddesses. So yeah, if you're curious on that, I do have the paperback available on Amazon and the ebook on my website. Both will be linked in the description. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. And thanks for watching.